We spend our days implicitly trusting the digital surfaces in front of us. Every time you find yourself tapping a glowing screen, you are assuming the system on the other side is acting in your best interest. That trust is exactly what an attacker wants to weaponize. The incident begins when a blaring system warning suddenly hijacks your screen, complete with official-looking logos and a ticking countdown timer demanding your attention. These messages trigger a visceral stress response. Believing your data is actively being stolen, you see a button labeled Clean Now and click it to stop the perceived threat. That single panicked click renders billions of dollars in enterprise-grade security, network firewalls, and endpoint protections completely useless. Scareware succeeds by exploiting human emotion to bypass traditional technical controls. It is a social engineering attack that targets the user's psychology rather than the machine's code. Analytical, attackers compromise everyday web infrastructure, using a single malicious server to branch out and quietly infect hundreds of trusted website nodes. During the 2011 Lisa Moon outbreak, over 1 million safe pages were compromised, rapidly forcing visitors to redirect into a central malicious domain. To achieve this, attackers use SQL injections, malicious strings of code planted in a website's database, to silently insert invisible redirect commands on legitimate pages. When you visit a compromised site, your browser follows these hidden instructions. You are instantly rerouted from a safe environment to an attacker-controlled web page. This technical delivery mechanism exists solely to put the psychological trap in front of the user. The silent rerouting is the transport. The trap itself is the content displayed on the screen. The visual design of a scareware alert is meticulously calculated to trigger an immediate fight-or-flight response. Attackers copy the logos, color palettes, and window frames of trusted brands to create a fake warning nearly indistinguishable from the real system alert. They amplify the fear with flashing red text, fabricated lists of critical viruses, and ticking countdown timers that demand immediate action. These alerts are often coded for persistence. If you try to exit, the X button may be disabled, or the site might spawn endless new windows to prevent you from escaping the loop. These deceptive user interface choices are engineered to override your rational decision-making, forcing a rushed and potentially catastrophic response. Falling for the bait leads to one of two outcomes. The first is pure financial extortion, tricking you into paying for useless fake antivirus software or fraudulent tech support services. This extortion is highly profitable. The Federal Trade Commission recently fined 2 companies $26 million for using these tactics to sell unnecessary services. The second, more dangerous outcome is a malware infection. The fix you download often contains the real virus, silently installing keyloggers to steal passwords, ransomware to lock your files, or tools that grant attackers remote access to your system. The tragedy of the sting is the irony. Your computer was completely safe until you were tricked into installing the real virus yourself. You can break the illusion by looking for the seams. Most scareware contains poor grammar, lists unfamiliar software names, and relies on the impossible premise of a virus scan inside a standard web browser window. When an alert looks suspicious, pull your hand away from the mouse. Your first priority is to avoid clicking anywhere inside that deceptive window. The correct technical response is to disconnect from the internet and use your operating system's task manager to force quit the browser entirely. Then run a full scan using a legitimate pre-installed antivirus program. As technical security layers become more robust, attackers increasingly view human behavior as the most reliable path into a network. In the digital age, true cybersecurity requires the discipline to pause and breathe. The most effective defense isn't a piece of software, it's your ability to remain calm when a screen is screaming for you to panic.